people, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about the definition of poor, aka how to be rich. I did do a couple of, I did do a goofy video, like how you could be rich, you know, but now we're actually going to dive into it. So I'm going to put down below a link to one of my favorite books that I'm going to be kind of referencing throughout this video. I Will Teach You to Be Rich. It's pretty popular, and they just made a new version of it. It's on Amazon, but I ended up getting this book from the library. And I think you can get the PDF version of the first edition for free online as well. Anyway, so let's dive in here. The definition of poor. I have it on my computer right here. So we have lacking sufficient money to live at a standard considered comfortable or normal in society. Here's the example. People who were too poor to afford a telephone. The next definition is worse than is usual, expected or desired, of a low or inferior standard or quality. And then here's the example. Many people are eating a very poor diet. So the definition of poor, because I am the poor doctor. I think that the first definition applies to me the most. Lacking sufficient money to live at a standard considered comfortable in normal society. And the reason why I say that, yes, I live in a lovely house, and yes, I eat a very healthy diet, and yes, I do have a car, and a cell phone and Wi-Fi, and I mean, I'm not necessarily poor like in Armenia. They were really poor, but I am not living normal in society, and the reason why I say that is because I have a house, right? I have a roof over my head, but I'm not paying the price that it is. I manipulated people in order to get this, or at least my payment of the house, cheaper. Also in terms of food, like, yeah, I eat a very healthy diet. I eat a plant-based diet, but I only spend $10 to $15 a week on food, and that's not really considered normal in society. Also in terms of living in this area, like a lot of people, you know, they spend a lot of money on car insurance. A lot of people spend a lot of money on renter's insurance, just because it's an expensive area to live. So, especially if we're dealing with normal in society, I definitely do not live normally in society. I have bills, yeah. And I have luxuries like Wi-Fi and food and running water, yeah, but like I'm not living life like everybody else around me is, and I definitely am not paying prices, especially on rent and car insurance and car payments, like most people in this area are. So that's why I consider myself poor. Of course, my title, The Poor Doctor, is supposed to be sort of a play on words, sort of based on that TV show, like The Good Doctor, but it's supposed to be like The Poor Doctor. So it's supposed to be a little comedic as well. But I did want to talk about, so that's sorry, the definition. But I did want to talk about a little bit about a poverty level. Just because, I don't want to leave anybody in the lurch here. Let's see, poverty versus poor. There was a blog that brought up the difference one time. Okay, in the United States, poverty is set by the Office of Management and Budget. Oh! That sounds like a really good department for somebody like me. Persons with income less than deemed sufficient to purchase basic needs, food, shelter, clothing, and other essentials, are designated as poor. Okay, well, I can afford food and shelter. I just can't afford clothes or other essentials. again, my title is supposed to be play. Yes, I'm not rolling in the cash, but my title is supposed to be, you know, a play on words. But one thing I did want to talk about is I Will Teach You to Be Rich, the book, because this book is a really, really good self-help book. Actually, I would recommend, if you're going to read it, like, I recommend taking notes on it. Like, that's how good it is. But it really talks about, like, how it more discusses, like, how to make you feel rich, not necessarily a monetary value, because it is true, like, you could be making $10 an hour and feel rich, you know, even though monetary wise you're not necessarily. So yeah, so that's what I want to dive in here. So personally for me, and obviously I've thought about this a lot, so I'm an expert in the topic, but one thing that makes me feel rich, or I guess it more brings me joy. Well, it does make me feel rich because I get to get dressed up and stuff. But one thing that makes me feel rich and that makes my man feel rich is going out to eat once a week. So once a week, well, usually on Fridays we go. It's date night. And we go out on a date and we go to a restaurant, and usually it's a nice restaurant, not like too overpriced, but usually it's a restaurant that will serve liquor, and usually it has like a nice cute atmosphere with like lights and candles and, you know, stuff like that. And we go out, and when we get one drink and we get a meal, like each person gets a meal, and then that's it. So when we go, it's just more the sake of going out to a restaurant with this type of atmosphere. It's not necessarily what we get, because I would say that, like, we probably spend 50 to 60 on the dinner, if that, you know. That is kind of high. $30 a person. I would say it's probably like 20 a person, if that, again. But that makes us feel rich, just going out to the restaurant and like being at the restaurant and being with each other. Of course we order a drink because we're going out, and of course we order a meal because we're going out, but that's it. No dessert, no appetizers, no second drink. Because that's not necessarily the point. The point of going out is to go out and enjoy each other's company, and that makes us feel, and get dressed up and stuff. So that makes us feel rich, and that makes us feel happy. Another thing that I like to do, and my man, we like to travel. And when I say travel, we haven't really traveled together, since I was in school, but like prior to school, yeah, we definitely traveled together. We did a lot of like weekend trips. And that makes us feel rich. That makes me feel rich. That makes him feel rich as well. Another thing, me personally, what makes me feel rich is being able to go to the gym, and pay for a gym membership. Again, I go to Planet Fitness, so I'm not paying that much for a gym membership, but the fact of having a gym and being able to exercise and being able to strengthen my body and feel more confident, that definitely makes me feel rich. Being able to give my parents money from time to time also makes me feel rich. They never ask me for money, but it is nice to unexpectedly send them $100, every here and there. That makes me feel rich. Spending time with people, like this kind of goes with the whole traveling, like traveling to the city with friends, traveling going out to a restaurant with friends, going out for coffee with friends. That makes me feel rich as well. Now, of course, and most importantly, I didn't even forgot. Going to school. Continual learning makes me feel rich. It doesn't necessarily have to be going to school, but like taking lessons, learning a new concept, reading a book, going to class. That makes me, being able to afford higher education, not that I can afford it, but that makes me feel rich. So obviously you need money to be able to do these things. You need money to be able to go out to eat. You need money to be able to pay for school, to be able to pay to travel. you know, so that's where the monetary value comes in. But as I mentioned, clothes do not make me feel rich. Of course, I buy clothes every so often, and like I did need to buy scrubs, you know, but it gives me joy like in the moment, but it doesn't give me joy long term. And the same kind of thing goes hand in hand when it comes to like watching TV and studying. I love watching TV and movies. I take after my father in that category. But watching a TV show gives me satisfaction right then and there. But it gives me instant gratification. It doesn't necessarily give me long-term satisfaction. And same with buying clothes. Like buying clothes, buying accessories, buying an expensive car, all of those things give me instant gratification, but they don't necessarily give me long-term gratification. Now, in terms, obviously, I paint my own nails. That's something that I do that I really enjoy. But when it comes to jewelry, obviously, jewelry gives me a little bit more long-term satisfaction, just because like rings, for example, I can look at them and enjoy them, and like earrings, and you know, I can put all that stuff on. But jewelry really doesn't cost that much, contrary to popular belief. Like my earrings that I have on right now, I'm gonna show you guys. Like these hoops, for example, these hoops are like so beautiful. I got them from TJ Maxx. They're white gold, and they have like little cuts in them, you know, so they reflect light. They were like $25 from TJ Maxx. See, jewelry isn't that expensive. These came in a pack of 3 from Amazon. They were like $7 for the pack of 3. And then, of course, obviously, this was expensive because I got my ears pierced. But, like, with those earrings. But the point is that jewelry really it's not that expensive. And especially if you go to Kohl's, especially if you go to TJ Maxx, especially if you order on Amazon, you can get some nice stuff cheap, and it lasts, like rings, for example. You don't have to get, like, a white gold ring. You can get, like, a silver ring like this one, and it's, like, not that expensive. This ring is actually fake, by the way. It's a mood ring. See what I'm talking about? So, like, that, I don't really consider that, when I do spend money on jewelry, it's usually like $25, and I usually use a gift card that I got for Christmas. That's how I got these. So, yeah, so that, but that stuff, like, gives me, I don't know, jewelry, getting my hair done is one of the things, though, that does give instant gratification, and that's why I don't really get my hair dyed frequently unless like an event is coming up. Same with nails, getting my nails done. Believe it or not, getting my nails done is great, but again, instant gratification. So I think that that's the moral of the story here, is that you really need to figure out in your life, like, what gives you long-term satisfaction and what gives you instant gratification. Travel, for sure, even if it's just like a weekend-long trip, does give me long-term satisfaction, because you can look at the pictures, you can talk about the memories, you can think about the memories, you might run into something that reminds you of what happened on the trip, like, you know, so that's kind of the main deal with long-term satisfaction. A degree, too, nobody can take that away from you, you know. But certain things like nails chip and break, and hair grows out, and jewelry gets lost, and I don't know, things spill in purses, and dogs eat shoes, and all of these things can happen to any instant gratification item. And I think that's really important. Moral of the story, though, also, side note, is your environment. I live in the city, near a city at least. I live around very wealthy people, and sometimes if you don't have a Louis Vuitton bag, it's like you're not one of us, you don't fit in. But so sometimes that often influences people to engage in instant gratification. But that comes with the territory, and that really comes with your personality, your confidence. You know, no, I am not going to get a Louis Vuitton purse because I'm saving for a trip to Ireland, and leave me alone. I'm rich, and that's all that matters. And that is kind of the point here. Like, and that's another reason why I dress like this, because like I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous, I'm hot, and I know it. And I don't necessarily need to brag that on YouTube. It's not the point of the channel. I don't necessarily need to brag that, you know, I fit in here and that I'm rich. Because monetary wise, no, I am not rich. And no, I probably can't afford a Louis Vuitton bag. But it's okay, because I want to go on a trip. You know, I want to go see the world. I want to take a weekend long adventure. I want to go to school. And these are things that make me feel rich long term. And they will always be there regardless of whether, you know, 20 years goes by or a day goes by. You know, it's always something that I can remember and think about, and that's how I deal with life. Okay, have a good day, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.